a line using the slope and y-intercept. Can somebody remind us, how have we so far, what strategies, what methods have we used so far for graphing a line? There's been two different ways. Can anybody give me one of those?
Rise and run.
No, that was finding slope. Graphing a line. What methods have we used so far? Blake was one of them. The x and y intercepts. We found the x-intercept, we found the y-intercept, then we used those 2 points on the graph. We plotted those 2 points on the graph and drew a line through, because in reality, you only need 2 points to create a line. Okay? That's one of them. Anybody remember the other method? No? How about making a table? Put some x values in a table, apply the function rule to that x value, take care of the function rule and get your y value and have your ordered pairs. Anybody remember that? Making a table? And who typically chose the x values for you? Me, right? Yeah. So we can also pick some x values, put them into our equations, get a y value, and then we have some ordered pairs to get a graph that way. Well, today we're going to learn a third method. And our method is going to be, I want you to underline this. We're going to plot the y-intercept first. Well, the good news is we don't have to find it, they're going to give it to us. They're so kind. So we're going to plot the y-intercept first, and then use the slope to plot at least 2 other points. So here's the deal. You must have a minimum of 3 points. As long as the graph will hold 3, at least 3, you need to have at least 3. You know, the x and y-intercept way, well, there's only one x-intercept and there's only one y-intercept, so we can only do the 2. But we're not talking about the x and y-intercept way. We're talking about using the y-intercept and then the slope to help us get other points. So what we're going to do with this is we have the graph there. We're going to start, remember this is where we're going to start. The y-intercept is 2. So would you put a box around that and put this as your start? This is where you start. Even though they listed second, that's okay. Where would we go and put a point on our graph for this? At 0, positive 2, right? So we would just go to 2 on the y-axis. It's as simple as just going to 2 on the y-axis, isn't it? Okay, there's our first point. Okay, well now that we have our first point, we're going to use our slope, and let's, we're used to calling slope what? M. Let's call it M. Slope is 2/3, M. Remember we use that in the slope formula. So M equals 2/3. I want us to show the 2 different ways that we can, this really is rise over run. Rise over run. That 2 is the rise, the 3 is the run. So I want us to show that if we use it going as a positive 2 over a negative 3, what we're really going to do is we're going to go up 2 and we're going to go right 3. And I want you to write this down. I just want it to get ingrained in your brain. How are you going to use this rise and this run to help you get other points? Well, you can go up 2 from a point and right 3, or, and, maybe we should just say and. We also have the option of, because it's a positive slope, we also have the option of a negative over a negative. So what happens when you divide 2 negatives? What do you get? A positive. So we also have the option of giving each of them a negative sign and saying we can go down 2 and left 3. In your homework, you will write this out. You only have 8 problems to do, and this is the expectation right here. You will show the 2 different ways you can use the slope, and then you will create 2 points using each of those, okay? So, we go back to our y-intercept that's already on our graph. We go up 2, and to the right 3, and we put a point. Up 2, right 3. Now we go back to the y-intercept. Because here's the deal. If I stay at the point that I was at and I use it, down 2 and left 3, I'm just going to land back on the y-intercept, aren't I? So let's go to the y-intercept and go down 2 and left 3 and create a second point using slope, which ends up becoming our third point. Okay, with your ruler, draw the line going through those 3 points now. All the way through the graph, all the way through the coordinate plane, with arrows at both ends. Okay, when you're done, you're not going to be happy to be done until you say to yourself, does the behavior of the line match the type of slope it was? What type of slope did we have? M equals 2/3. What is that? Positive. Remember, we have positive, we have negative, we have 0, we have undefined. It's positive. What's the behavior of a line when you have positive slope? Rises from left to right. Do we have a good picture? Yeah, we have a good. So don't be happy just to draw that line with those arrows at the end and move on. Say to yourself, I had a positive slope, but yet my line is doing what? Maybe I better make sure it has the right behavior. Otherwise, I should go back and see what I did incorrectly, because we are going to do a ton of graphing. This is a huge lesson today. You have to be able to do this. Okay? Anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, remember, where do we start? Y-intercept. So moving on to number 2, we're going to start at -3. So we're going to go to -3 on the y-axis and plot ourselves a point. And then we're going to say, oh, the slope is -1. Well, that's not a rise over a run, is it? So what can I do to make that into a rise over a run? Can put it over 1. Okay, now, remember that when you have a fraction and there's either a negative upstairs or there's a negative downstairs, you get to pull it out and it can come up front. Remember that? So let's just do that. Let's just show that, you know what, this really is also the same as a -1 over 1. No, the rise of the run is not more important than the other. One does not get to claim the negative all the time. It comes out front and says, you know what, we have a negative slope here, folks. So what should we expect the behavior to be when we're done graphing? What's negative behavior? Falling from left to right. So we're going to show that we could give that negative sign, so we can give the negative sign to the one upstairs, and the other choice we have is to give the -1 to the downstairs. Remember, one isn't more important than the other. So show the 2 different ways we can do this. We can give the negative sign to the rise and let the run be positive, or we can let the rise be positive and give the negative sign to the run. So what does this one say? -1 rise, what does that say we're going to do?
Go down.
1 down and 1. What's that one downstairs that's positive tell us to do?
Right.
1 right. Literally, when I'm graphing this is what goes through my head every time. When I look at it, I say, okay, what do I got to do? I got to go this many units up or down. I got to go this many units left or right. And the other one says 1 up and 1 to the left. Okay. So we have our 2 different ways we can go about it. So now we go to our y-intercept and we do a 1 down, 1 right. Now, you can't just keep going in the same direction. We could keep going 1 down, 1 right, 1 down, 1 right. We could just keep going forever. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to go the same direction for both of them. But when we don't have to, we're going to use the other one too. We're not going to let it feel left out. So we're going to go back to the y-intercept, and we can go 1 up and 1 left. And we have our 3 points to draw our line. Did the behavior turn out the way you thought it should? Okay. Okay, I want you to go ahead and get the first point plotted in this one. And then I want you to show the two different ways. And don't you dare, don't you even think about plotting 2 more points until your paper shows the 2 different ways that you can use this slope. So the fraction is negative. Remember the rule, rise isn't more important than run. We want to rethink this. Rise is upstairs. We don't go left or right upstairs. Rethink that. Okay, somebody give me one way that we can do this slope. It's one of the ways. Andrea, got it for me? -3 over +2, okay, and then what do you do when you have a -3 over a +2? Okay. Everybody agrees that one of your ways? You agree with Andrea? Blake, what's the other way?
You could do 3 over -2, and then it's going to be 3 up and -2 left.
You're going to have to,
Well,
just
2 left.
2 left. Yeah, the left takes care of the negative, doesn't it? So 2 left, okay. You guys agree with that? Is that the other way? Okay. So I'm going to go to my y-intercept and I'm going to use the one way. I'm going to go back to my y-intercept and I'm going to use the other way. And draw my line. And what's the last thing I'm going to do after I draw my line before I move on to the next problem? Make sure what? That it likes you? Oh, no, that wasn't it. Make sure that what? Yeah, make sure its behavior matches the type of slope, right? Okay, does it match? How do we feel about it? Yeah? What's it doing? What's its behavior? Falling from left to right. What type of slope has falling behavior? Negative. And we started with a negative slope, didn't we? So feeling pretty confident about that much anyway. Okay. So any questions on those top 3? This is huge that we can do this correctly. Because you're gonna graph the rest of your math courses. And you're gonna have to know how to do this. Even in geometry. Not just algebra. Okay, then let's go on to number 4. Our slope is 1/4. Our y-intercept is 0. So that means we're going to start at, where's our first point going to be? Yeah, well, that's called the origin, isn't it? That one's at the origin. Okay, m equals 1/4. What's one way we could name that 1/4? Seth, what's one way? I'm sorry, what? Positive, negative? So give me more information. That's not enough. I don't know how to write that.
You have to go up 1 and then positive.
So I'm going to go up 1, and what about the 4? To the right 4? Is that a yes? Okay. So I think this is, I've got enough information to understand what you're saying, Seth. We can treat it as a positive 1/4, which says go up 1 I always do the number first, and 4 to the right. Do you guys agree with that? Can we do this? Okay. What would the other one be? Talia, can you give me the other one? What's the other possibility? I gotta be able to hear you. This fan is loud. And 4 what? And 4 left. Where did that come from? What would the fraction look like that came from? Pardon? Really? Blake?
It is, right, it's be like -1 or -4.
Yeah, you had it right, Talia. So this would be a -1 over a -4.
Can't you just put like, instead of putting both negatives, could you just put negatives right in front of the line?
Nope, you can't just put it right in front of the line. 'Cause if you put it right in front of the line, that means only one of them is negative, not both of them. So, no.
But is it like, I got confused the first thing, I know it's right, but like on the negative, I was thinking that it'd be positive. Oh, it does end up being.
And we do want a positive numbers, yeah.
I got confused the first,
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Okay, so, and it's really important that we can use both ways, because sometimes one of the ways will not work, and it's typically the one that you like to use, and then you're like, now what am I gonna do? I can't graph this. You can't come back to class and say you can't graph it, you gotta have another way to do it. So we can go up 1 and over 4 to the right, or we can go down 1 and 4 to the left, draw our line, and we should have, should we be?
Mine is really nice straight.
Oh, it isn't very good, is it? Yeah, thank you. Okay, I will get it better for you. Okay, line. Let's see if I can do it this time. A little bit better, right? Okay. I'm not ready to move on to number 5 yet because I haven't asked myself what. Okay, what type of slope did this one have? Samuel, what type of slope did number 4 have? Positive slope, okay. So then tell me, Maisie, what kind of behavior does a positive slope have? It rises from left to right. Very good. Left to right, yeah. As we read across the page, from left to right. Okay, good job, class. Okay, go ahead, you try this one totally on your own. I'm not helping you with that. You're on your own. From left to right. Right. That's a problem, isn't it?
Did I read it? Oh, I did read it. I put line in it. Okay, that's what it's.
You have those 2 straight places. You put the all you did like make it into a fraction, right? Or you-
Wow.
Yeah, like Maisie did. Do you like the behavior of your line, Samuel? Oh, did I say you were racist? I just asked a simple question. Do you like the behavior of the line? Okay, tell me why. Because I do too. So the line should follow. Awesome. Good job. Each of them, they got to take turns having the negative sign. That was good. Thank you, Maisie. Oh, yeah, the line too was a little hard for you to reach, wasn't it? Good job attempting your straight line. Way to go. Okay. So Maisie has done number 5 for us. Can we agree with her? Maisie, why are you happy with Your results. Or what's the last question you're supposed to ask yourself? Hey, can anybody help her out? What's the last question? Andrea, what's she supposed to ask herself? Can you say that louder? Does the behavior of the line match the slope, the type of slope? The slope is negative. What behavior does a negative slope have? It drops from left to right, it falls from left to right. Okay. And it's really important that we look at it from left to right, isn't it, Blake? Not from right to left, yeah. Very important. Okay, good job. Thanks, Maisie. Okay, and let's go take a look at this last one. Okay. Any volunteer to come up here and do it at the board for us? Okay, Blake, come on up, and the rest of us get to work. So when you're ready, Blake, just come on up, bring your paper in. You're tall enough to reach the line tool.
Do we use the marker?
No, you use your finger. And if you want to change colors, feel free. Let me just get this so you can maybe. There you go. Reach it a little easier since you have it off. There you go.
Where's the line?
The line tool is,
This?
yep, that one right there. There you go. Kind of tricky, so have fun.
Where do I start?
You just gotta decide somewhere to start somewhere and go all the way to the graph.
No.
Now you gotta go back to a pen. Oh, there you go. And now you can put your arrows. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, agree, disagree with Blake?
Disagree.
We disagree.
Because it's a positive 5 to the y-intercept, not a negative.
Mm. So you're starting
Oh, I
point
read
in
it
the wrong
wrong
spot?
again.
Oh, okay, so we have to move it up, huh? Okay,
But other than that, it's good.
everything else is good? You think I'm gonna stamp his paper tomorrow?
Well, and now, because you get the one down, and then over two.
Okay, so not only, I don't want you to just use the fraction part here to do, I want you to actually write another fraction and describe. Okay, so this is separate. This right here is separate of your word description, okay? So do we agree with that though? That you can give the negative sign to the 1, go down 1, and leave the 2 positive and go right 2. Do we agree with that? Okay, and then here's the other choice. We can let the 1 be positive and the 2 be negative, which would then mean we're going to do what? Go up, Blake,
One.
up,
Up 1.
and left 2. There's the other thing that we would do for it, okay? Now, Blake agrees that it needs to move to there, the first point, correct? Okay, now, here was one that, and this is what happened to Blake also when even though he put the y-intercept in the wrong spot, but what happened here, Blake? What was going on here on that bottom point? It's kind of off the graph, isn't it? Okay, well, not only is that one, so that one's off the graph, but, so there's, and that's not the end of the world, but we're gonna do something different with this one because we don't want to go off the graph. Any problem with this point right here? Anybody have a problem with that one? Do you agree with him? Did he? Because he would have had to go up 1. Did he go over to the left 2?
One.
He only went. Okay, watch. one, left one. Up one, left two. Okay, so here's the deal. I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to, oh yeah, that's right, I have to undo that line. Oh, edit. Oh, there must be another better way to do this than I'm doing it. There must definitely be. Where's that line at? Oh. I did so much writing I did between, I shouldn't have. You guys having fun? No, I'm not. Okay, and now I'll erase those points, and now I'll go back to starting at 5, and we gotta go, if we go up 1 on this one and 2 left, we're kind of off the grid, we really strung our grid line, so instead of using that one, we're gonna say, you know what, it was nice that you wanted to be a part of this, but you don't get to be. We're gonna go down 1 and right 2. We're gonna go down 1 again and right 2 again. Would you do that with me on here if you didn't? So sometimes you're gonna make both the other 2 points going in the same direction. Because then you don't have to worry about, oh, do I have it in a good location or not? You have grid lines to work with. So sometimes, even though you had 2 names for it, you're gonna leave one of them out. Now, again, we have to, I gotta go back to this, down 1, right 2. This is really important. That's part of your getting your paper stamped tomorrow. So don't neglect that. 2 different ways we can name it: writing it out, graphing it, line all the way through the graph, arrows at both ends, use a straight edge. Okay? Anybody have any questions? Do we like the behavior design? Why is that? What was the question? Do we like the behavior of the line? Okay, and do we? We should? Why? Because it's negative. Okay, so the slope is negative, which means the line should be negative. What's a negative line?
Drops from left to right.
It drops from left to right. That's right. Okay,